Hello. I just want to talk a little bit about what I've been seeing from the newspapers. Excuse me. Hmm. They've all come out since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic and been begging us. They've been begging us to go out and buy a copy of a newspaper. Um, this is laughable, frankly. What did they do back in the 1918, 1919 so-called Spanish flu pandemic? Did newspapers go out of business then? No, they didn't. Did they beg for money from the public? Well, they probably couldn't because there was no social media back in those days. But it's rather rich of newspapers coming to us and begging us for money. They come out with lines like, we're holding power to account. Well, actually, no, they're not. And we can see that this is the case and has been the case now probably for decades, but it's been more noticeable in the last 10 years. Yeah, especially when Jeremy Corbyn became leader of the Labour Party, because each and every newspaper, and I'm including the so-called Labour supporting papers like the Daily Mirror, the Sunday Mirror, and the People, spent a lot of column inches smearing Jeremy Corbyn. That's what they did. All the time they were doing that, they were actually ignoring the racism of Boris Johnson and the Tories' venality, because that's what it is. Not only that, they missed things like the fact that the Constitution isn't codified and therefore can be exploited because of its weakness. And that's exactly what happened when Johnson prorogued Parliament last autumn. And now you've got these newspapers coming to us saying, please buy a newspaper. When you're out on your daily shop, go into a newsagent's and pick up a copy. Well, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. The Guardian is the latest to come out with this because in fact, the Guardian today have announced that they're actually cutting something like 400 jobs, I think it is. The Guardian spent an awful lot of time smearing Jeremy Corbyn and anybody on the left. If you've ever read any of Nick Cohen's articles, then you'll know exactly what I mean. The other thing that about The Guardian, and a lot of people are under the misapprehension, they labor under the misapprehension that The Guardian is a left-wing newspaper. Well, guess what? It isn't. It's actually a liberal paper, and it always has been a liberal paper. When it was launched back in the 19th century, it was fully supportive of so-called Manchester liberalism. That's economic liberalism. That's economic liberalism with steroids. In fact, Manchester liberalism is similar to the kind of liberalism that we're living through at the moment as an economic doctrine. Neoliberalism. It's just Manchester liberalism on steroids. There it is. That's all for now. See you next time.